So far, we have learned some strategies to help us factor different quadratic expressions. And those strategies will work all the time, especially factoring by grouping we can always use. Today, though, we're going to learn two tricks that can kind of help shorten our factoring process and that just kind of in general, there's some patterns to look for. So I'm going to call this 4.4. Shortcuts to keep an eye out for. My first shortcut to keep an eye out for that we're going to see in this video is called a perfect square trinomial. Okay, and my example of a perfect square trinomial that I'm going to show you is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. This is a perfect square trinomial, and I'll show you in a second how this is going to end up factoring. But before that, well, perfect square trinomial, what does that mean? Trinomial, remember, means we have three terms. Perfect square, well, it's a perfect square trinomial because 9 is 3 squared. And right here, 4x squared, this whole term, is 2x squared. 2x times 2x gives us 4x squared. Now we could say that 9 is 9 times 1. We could say 4x squared is 4x times x. But if we think of it as 2x squared and 3 squared, we have the chance for this to be a perfect square trinomial. That's my first thing that has to be true. My first thing to look for. My second thing to look for is that this b value must be twice these guys multiplied together. All right. So this middle right here, my negative 12x must be twice the product of 2x and 3. I'll use that I'll do this in another color. So in this case, must be 2 times 2x times 3. Well, 2 times 2x is 4x times 3 is 12x. Oh, shoot, we need this to be negative 12x. Here's what we can change. So 9 is 3 squared, right? But 9 could also be negative 3 squared, because negative 3 times negative 3 is still a positive 9. And if we make this a negative 3, 2 times 2x times negative 3 gives us negative 12x, which is what we needed. All right, here's the cool thing. We figured out our perfect square trinomial. We have the perfect square here, the perfect square here. My middle is twice the product. Here's how we factor it. 2x minus 3 squared. 2x minus 3. That's done. All right, let's look at some more examples here, going along with our perfect square trinomial. Okay, let's do x squared plus 10x plus 25. Okay, things to look for. Well, x squared is a perfect square. It's x squared. 25 is 5 squared. Keep in mind my middle must be twice the product of these guys. 2 times x times 5. Okay, that's 10x. And this gives us a positive 10x, which is what we have here. Once all of that checks out, I have an x. I have a positive 5. We square it. That's it. Okay, I'm going to show you with this one also. Just multiply it back out so you can see how it works, and just to kind of verify and make sure you believe me. X plus 5 squared, x plus 5 times x plus 5. So we FOIL this out. X times x is x squared, plus 5x, plus 5x, plus 25. All right, so our first and last terms, that's where we're getting our perfect squares. Okay, our x squared and 25. And then 5x and 5x, well, that's when we end up having to have twice the product of our two, not really a and c values, but the square root of our a and c values, okay, because this is twice our product. So x squared plus 10x plus 25, there you go, works. All right, let's do one more example here, and I'll give you an example of a situation where this trick would be really, really helpful. If you had something like this, 49x squared plus 126x plus 81. Okay, well, first of all, I don't have a greatest common factor here. There isn't any number that I can divide 49, 126, and 81 all by. So, well, if I think about factoring by grouping, I could multiply 49 times 81 and get a really big number and figure out where to go from there. But hey, let's look at this little trick here, my perfect square trinomial, because I know 49 is a perfect square. 49x squared is 7x squared. And hey, I know 81 is a perfect square. It's 9 squared. All right, let's see if that middle is what we need it to be. Okay. And take twice 7x and 9. So 2 times 7x is 14x times 9. And this ends up being 126x. Perfect. So since this all checks out, my factors, 7x, positive 9, square it. Woohoo!